I want to tell you about the time I almost died. It's midnight on June 7th, and a chill runs through my bones. It's anticipation. That scene from Shawshank Redemption materializes in my mind where Red, played by Morgan Freeman, says, "I find I'm so excited, I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head." I think it's the feeling of excitement only a free man can get. A free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I glance out, but my headlamp only illuminates the next 40 feet. And if I could see it, I might turn back. But I'm not here because it is easy. I'm here because what lies before us is small matter compared to what lies within us. And I never hope for that to be more true. Because out there in that vast void, the darkness more than night, lies before me the Grand Canyon of the United States. And I'm about to run across it, alone, in summer, and turn around and do it all over again. Now, this enchanted adventure did not begin as a solo endeavor. I'd planned to go with a longtime running friend, one who'd been with me on many ultramarathons before. Unfortunately, due to injury and self-doubt, he bailed. But I was determined to complete this adventure, even if I had to go at it alone. By myself, I was focused, but alone, I would make a crucial mistake that would almost cost me my life. My watch ticks midnight, and I start down the trail. Within a few steps of beginning, I stumble, and I find myself dangerously close to an edge that leads into darkness and almost certain death. The first leg of my journey is a sandy trail that plummets 4,000 feet from the rim to the river over a distance of 10 miles. Running downhill in the dark, I grow a little bit anxious because I'm afraid that I've missed my turn. This is because I've left the trail map on the seat of the car back at the parking lot, and this is my mistake. Once I reach the river, I refill my water, startle some deer, and continue on. While it's a relief to be off the dangerous slopes, a new challenge emerges as I must avoid stepping on hairy spiders and scorpions. When I'm not fearing being poisoned from something below, I fear disease from above as I compete with hundreds of swarming bats to see who can eat the most moths. A little while on, I encounter another creature on the trail, its eyes gleaming off the light of my headlamp. It's a skunk. I throw rocks at it, trying to get it to move, but it only becomes more aggressive, hissing, inching towards me, and turning around to spray. Not wanting to spend the next 30 miles and several days smelling like a skunk, I relent and I climb the scree around the beast to a further point on the trail, desperately hoping not to place my hand in something sharp like a cactus, a scorpion, or a snake. I guess the skunk wins that round. Trudging on, I climbed out of the canyon towards the north rim, which never seems to come. My GPS tells me that I'm there, but the climb goes on forever. Stopping to fiddle with a water tap, I refill my bottles, but I spill ice-cold water on my hands, which then become dysfunctional. Despite being in a desert in summer, temps can be like 120 degrees during the daytime, but at night they drop to near freezing. Having run almost nearly a marathon down to the river and out the other side of the canyon, I'm exhausted. I pull out my phone, which works for the only time on the entire trip, and I babble through tears on a call home. But nobody can help me. My car is 25 miles back across the canyon, and I must move on. Going downhill in the sunlight brings life back into me as a majestic scene unfolds, revealing the scenery that was once shrouded in darkness. After several more blissful hours of running downhill, I reach the river again, and it's here where I make my second and most crucial mistake. Without a map, I have a choice. 9.5 miles up the trail I came from, or 7.5 miles up another trail. I opt for the shorter option, but with it comes a cost. It is way steeper, and there are no water sources. Within steps of beginning my climb, I'm hit like a ton of bricks. My legs don't work, I'm nauseous, and I grow dizzy. There are far fewer people on this trail, and while a few stop to give me water, I go long stretches without seeing anyone. After a few steps, my legs cramp, and I cannot walk for more than a minute without collapsing. Before, my hands were frozen. Now the sun is sucking the life out of me. I call 911 from an emergency phone, and they tell me to wait until dark before heading up. It's at this point I want to pause and say, I'm sitting underneath a toilet shed in summer, so you can imagine how that smells. My motivation to get moving was pretty high. Sunset's about 10 hours away, and the rim is many miles higher, so I must move on. I start walking, my legs spasm, and I'm on the ground again. I pull out my phone, which of course does not work, and I record a goodbye message to my family, because there's a real chance that I could die out here. Resting more than I move, for hours on end, the sun beats down. Eventually, limping, my hands on my knees, I reach Cedar Ridge, which lies just 1,100 feet and 1.5 miles from the top of the canyon. Unfortunately, I'm completely destroyed when I get there. Unable to move, laying in the dirt, I'm covered in crusty sweat, my lips are cracked. I'm very nauseous, I vomit uncontrollably until there's nothing left, and then I'm just heaving. Ants are crawling all over me, biting and feasting, and I don't have any energy to swat them away. A tourist runs the call for help again, but it's going to be several hours before a ranger comes down to get me, and even then I'm still going to have to get out of this canyon. Growing only weaker without food, without water, and exposed to this sun, the end is near. In a few hours, it's going to be 50 degrees colder than it is right now, and with that exposure, almost certainly hypothermia is going to set in. I'm down 15 pounds, and I can't move, and I'd surely be too exhausted to fight off the chill, and I suppose that death would come for me well before the next sunrise. I have a choice: get up and move, or die. Despite the protests of the hiker, I stumble forward, summoning all the energy I have in reserve, inching, sometimes crawling up the mountain. Several hours later, I emerge from the canyon alive. The first 40 miles took me 9 hours. The next 6.9 miles took me 10.5 hours. The ranger dispatched to meet me pulls into the parking lot a few minutes later, I think a little surprised to see me. He takes my vitals and calls for an ambulance. Freezing, I crawl inside. And soon they're debating airlifting me to the hospital. As we drive, my vitals are low and I'm at extreme risk for a heart attack. Admitted to the hospital, I stayed 2 days being treated for kidney failure. Come on now. The problem is, my car is 2 hours away back at the national park, and with it, my wallet. I have no money, I'm covered in bandages and dirt, and I don't like my chances of hitching a ride. I mean, after all, would you give that guy a ride? I got to change my flight because I missed my return flight by days. Oh, and to cap it all off, while I was in the canyon, my hotel room was robbed, and with it, all my clothes and my electronics. That's my Grand Canyon tan, I call that. That's just dirt. They say that when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes. I can't say this was true for me. My life and my experiences were not what I saw, but my thoughts were on my family, and their faces were all I could see. A life without adventure is a life not spent living. But calculating the risk is the hard part. What is too much? Too dangerous? Do you train for a marathon and risk getting hit by a car? Do you climb mountains and chance the high altitude or the bad weather? Each of us has a threshold, and each of us a cost to bear. After this event, I could have quit endurance events, and some would say I should have. But if I did, I would not be nearing 100 marathons. I would not be an Ironman triathlete. I could not coach athletes like I do, and I'd not be leaving next week to climb Mount Everest. And these things, they bring me joy and give me purpose. No amount of reflection on past races, training, or reading can prepare you for when something goes wrong. They say if you fail to prepare, you should prepare to fail. And in most cases, that's true. If I had that map, things might have been a lot easier. But you cannot plan for the unknown. It is this uncertainty that defines adventure. Careful planning can save you a lot of time and trouble when the world is predictable. But I challenge you to prepare to fail. Life is full of loss. We don't get into every college we apply to. We don't get every job we want. And we don't win every game we play. Challenge your mind to not only envision, but embrace failure. I've not summited mountains. I've not finished some races. If we gauge the next chance off the last, we're destined to retire soon. Failure cannot be the result. Failure is merely the impetus to get back out there and go again. Because by moving from not able to possible is the only way we truly succeed. Thank you.